collaborate, how clearly we communicate, and how both government and civil society will bring depth and diversity in all these engagements that we're going to have. We are not going to move alone. We'll move with all the partners and the agencies as we speak to citizens in Uganda. Honorable Minister, there has been a challenge of the budget being more than what we collect at Uganda Revenue Authority. But the assurance we want to give you that the targets that you set for us, looking at our strategy for up to 2030, we think the equipment and the tools and the automation we have done in tax administration will help us meet and surpass these targets that you set for us. We want to conclude as Uganda Revenue Authority that we want to be closer to the taxpayers. We want to engage you. Most of the time they think we enforce, but we want to do more of tax education, more of tax engagement, and explaining these tax measures so that the enforcement comes to only those who have voluntarily refused to comply. Honorable Minister, I want to thank you for this opportunity and want to assure you that Uganda Revenue Authority will be there to support all these tax measures and engaging the citizens. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Abel Kagumile. Mr. PS, Acting PSST, it's your turn to come and address us. I also request that eventually you invite the Minister.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jim Mugunga, for coordinating the affairs of this morning. Honorable Minister of Finance, the heads of government institutions, civil society organizations, technical staff, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all to this launch of the National Budget Month for next financial year budget. In accordance with the Public Finance Management Act, the budget for next financial year was prepared in a very consultative manner, as CESBAG has confirmed. The process involved certainly consultations with the President, Cabinet, Parliament, civil society, ministries, departments and agencies, local governments, development partners, the private sector, the academia, community leaders, youth and women groups, and people with disabilities. It was comprehensive, starting in September last year to date. The inputs from all these consultations certainly formed the finalization of the budget, which was approved by Parliament on the 15th of May 2025 under the theme full monetization of Uganda's economy through commercial agriculture, industrialization, expanding and broadening services, and digital transformation, together with market access. Because if you produce and you don't have a market, you cannot prosper and survive in business the following day. Therefore, the market is king in our strategic direction going forward. In summary, the key priorities, I think members of the CESBAG as well as private sector mentioned for next financial year's budget has been informed by the 4th National Development Plan. And government strategy is certainly to grow the economy to 500 billion size of the economy, US dollars, by 2040, or before that. If the tourism people can promise what they are saying, they can surpass the target. That would be very good. And it's anchored on the ATMs as well as the enabling environment, which we are financing beginning next financial year. The ATMs, as we all now know, is agro-industrialization, linking the output of PDM, among others, with adding value to those items and selling those items into the market to earn more value for both households and the production chain along the value chain of agriculture. The second one is tourism, and the private sector talked about it. I don't want to repeat it. And we need to expand the obstacles to tourism and unlock that potential. The little money which is in tourism It's an addition. First of all, that's the good news. But secondly, there are other resources from other sectors like roads, which must be put under the rehabilitation of those bridges which cause accidents, those roads in Gwindi, etc., and deliver ICT and water to those areas so that tourists can enjoy, which cause accidents, those roads in Gwindi, etc., and deliver ICT and water to those areas so that tourists can enjoy the ambience of the environment in this country. Mineral-based industrial development is the other M within the ATMs, and then science, technology, and innovation. We shall be diving into detailed discussions after the ministers present his budget in the breakaway sessions in the course of these 1 month discussions. The ATMs alone cannot deliver. That's why we said we must support the enabler interventions, and these include, of course, maintaining peace, security, and rule of law. You cannot do anything in the economy when there's a disturbance of peace, security, and rule of law. We are going to maintain our investments in human capital, health, education, water, and social services, and protection. We are going to fully continue the journey of monetizing the economy through wealth creation initiatives. We shall talk about that in detail in the breakaway sessions after the budget. We are going to talk about infrastructure development, roads, railway, energy, ICT. We are going to talk about bulk water production for irrigation at a mini scale or at a large scale as well, in order to continue all year round production. We are going to talk about elimination of corruption. I think the Sesbach gentleman mentioned about the need for us to deal with that cancer. Administration of justice, we are going to continue financing those areas. And we are going to start a journey of eliminating domestic arrears. Next financial year, contrary to the previous financial years, 1.4 trillion is set aside to settle domestic arrears, starting with domestic firms who have supplied government. Their services were delayed to pay. They have been verified and are going to pay up to 1.4 trillion next financial year to start the journey of eliminating arrears out of government. We still remain committed to fiscal consolidation agenda, which involves increasing revenue to finance a larger part of our budget, ensuring efficiency in allocation of resources and effectiveness of use of those resources, linking work plans with the budgets, and monitoring that the money for which the budget was set is actually doing the activities which we plan to do in the course of the financial year. We are going to harden the link between resources and implementation of those resources at the lower level. We are also going to improve our public investment management systems policy in government, and I think one of the main documents will be launched by the minister in this session to go along with the action that we need to do with respect to budget execution. What does the National Budget Month mean for us, and what do we intend to do in this National Budget Month? This is one thing, it's one thing preparing the budget, a good budget, and it's another to effectively implement it to achieve the desired results. Successful implementation of the budget requires effective engagement of key stakeholders at all stages of budget preparation, execution, monitoring, and oversight of the budget. It is against that background that the ministry, in collaboration with the Budget Transparency and Accountability Partners, annually organizes the National Budget Month, during which targeted engagements are undertaken to effectively communicate the budget and enable stakeholders to effectively monitor and oversee the budget. The government of Uganda has walked this journey with civil society, Mr. Bekunda and his group, and development partners since 2018. It's not an event which we created this year or last year, no. We have been at it for about 13 years now, and it's growing stronger. During the budget month, the ministry, together with our development partners, take the approved budget to the people in order to provide full disclosure of the budget. Where is the money in the budget? Communicate the opportunities in the budget for stakeholders to seize and be able to be participant in the budget process and budget execution. Explain in simple language what the budget entails. Account the people of Uganda on the previous financial year budget commitments. and obtain the feedback from citizens to inform future budget policies. The findings of the Economic Policy Research Center, which we commissioned last year, on the effectiveness of the National Budget Month activities through the above initiatives have seen an increase in ownership of the budget and acceptability of the budget by the citizens. We therefore need to utilize opportunities that are offered in the budget each year in order to drive further engagement of the society. We are in this month going to simplify budget information for easy understanding of the budget. We have a citizen's guide to the budget that is going to be better improved. And we're going to increase citizen participation in monitoring government programs. As Director Sisbag mentioned, we are going to tell the people that this school has received some amount of capitation grants, has received some number of teachers. Are the teachers teaching? There is a teller system now which has been launched, again, through our initiative under Ministry of Education. The other day they came to demonstrate in Ministry of Finance how effective the system is. PSST was able to check a primary school called Umea in his village and found that I think the head teacher was absent for the most part. He didn't clock in. I was also able to check for a school where I did my primary living in now Kapelebiong district. It's called Obalanga Primary School. So many years ago. I clicked and found that I think for the most part, because it was a Friday, most teachers did not click in. I suspect they went to a cattle market nearby. So the teller system is very effective in the education system to help citizens check whether teachers are actually in school teaching and also check the amount of time that teachers are in contact with the learners in school. So that's a very good innovation, and I thank CESBAG for that. We shall continue developing such systems. How I wish done for health, yes. It's done for water and sanitation, it's done for road engineers and road maintenance, etc. Well, we shall be there. Don't worry. Now, I think I'm almost concluding. The key national budget month activities, I ran quickly through them. There are about 6, and I conclude. We're going to launch a budget month today. The pre- and post-budget speech media engagements are going to, on topical issues on the budget for next financial year, are going to take place on Wednesday, 5th June to Tuesday, 12th July. The pre-budget dialogue on the state of the economy by Siatini will be done on Tuesday, 10th. The budget reading certainly will be on Thursday next week, 12th June. The hybrid post-budget breakfast conference on tax measures will be by URA will be on Friday, 13th June. The business to budget high-level dialogue under the theme Assessing the Effects of Budget on Growth, Trade and Private Sector by CESBAG will be done on Tuesday, 17th June. The post-budget dialogue to facilitate public discussion and feedback on the budget, approved budget by Accord and CESBAG will be on Wednesday, 18th June. The post-budget East African Community Tax and Debt Dialogue and National Dialogue on Tax Measures for next financial year by Siatini will be on Thursday, 26th June. The Private Sector National Dialogue on Wealth Creation Initiatives, Business and Economic Recovery by PSFU on Monday, 16th June, and Regional Dialogues from Wednesday, 18th June to Friday, 27th June, 2025. The Regional Budget Engagement and Taxpayers Dialogue on Opportunities in the Budget and Tax Measures by URA from 19th to 27th June, 2025. Of course, URA wants to get every shilling, but of course, the policy position that were taken in order to incentivize the informal sector to come on board first to formalize is the incentive that we gave in the budget for startup businesses not to pay tax for the first 3 years. There were arguments for a longer period, but let's start with 3 and see whether those businesses can make money, which then URA can lay its hands on. Because what was happening, the moment you open a business, they were fearing to open because they thought that by opening, the taxman will come the following day and demand taxes. Where do you get money from day one? You are going to tax capital, which is a disincentive to growth in our economy. We are going to have dialogue with journalists and editors of the national budget on Friday, 27th June. You will get this program from the staff of the ministry. In conclusion, therefore, I am grateful to our National Budget Month partners for their strong collaboration in promoting transparency and accountability in the budget process and good governance throughout the budget process. In fact, almost 90% of the resources that are going to these discussions are financed by our friends in CESBAC, civil society, and all partners, Siatini, and all those people. It's not coming from your taxpayers' money. They have said people are poor. You may go ahead and borrow the money in order to conduct their affairs. They also told us this morning, we wanted to march from the center, the City Square, up to here, banging drums and walking. Then they said, but how are you going to inconvenience people again? First of all, most roads are closed. Now, by banging the drums and walking up to here, you are going to even close more roads. And the public, instead of being happy with you, they are going to be very annoyed with you for even inconveniencing them to reach offices late. So they said, let's not walk. Let's not waste time on that one. Let the council first repair the roads. We shall maybe march when the roads are very clean next financial year. So we thank you for that. Besides financing, you even finance the ABS. Thank you. We shall also hold a blood donation drive led by Uganda Blood Transfusion Services at the Ministry of Finance premises beginning today, I think. Yeah, after here, you can see I don't have a tie today. I'm going to, but I think, okay, we shall see. That said, without wasting much time, I now take the honor to invite Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to officially launch the National Budget Month activities for next financial year. I thank you for God and my country. Yes, Minister.
I will not talk.
Oh, you want it? Charlie Mbogo.
At 8 years plus. The heads of government institutions here, heads of civil society organizations, technical officers, members of the media fraternity, ladies and gentlemen. Shall I say good morning? Good morning. It is 10:30. I welcome you all to the official launch of the National Budget Month for financial 25-26. Governments across the world exist to deliver prosperity and improve well-being of their citizens. I repeat this. Governments across the world exist to deliver prosperity and to improve well-being of their citizens. We are not just here to play. We want our citizens to be happy, first of all to be healthy and happy, and of course rich. This noble aspiration is only attained through inclusive and transparent governance, particularly in how public resources are planned, allocated, and utilized. A responsive budget process is one that leaves no one behind
and is therefore fundamental in building a just and an equitable society. Here in Uganda, the NRM government has continued to undertake deliberate reforms to strengthen good governance and inclusivity in our national budget process. Here in Uganda, the NRM government has continued to undertake deliberate reforms to strengthen good governance and inclusivity
in our national budget process. One such landmark initiative was the deliberate effort to collaborate with the civil society organizations. They are here since 2018 to date on budget transparency and accountability. Through this collaboration, we have opened up the budget space to enable, one, unrestricted participation of all Ugandans, including civil society, at the stage of budget processing. Two, greater access to budget information and its dissemination to citizens in a simplified manner. Three, enhanced civic empowerment to foster public dialogue, participation, and accountability for better service delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, the National Budget Month is a vital platform for bringing the budget closer to the people. It provides space for dialogue on national priorities and the citizens' concerns, and an opportunity for all stakeholders to better understand what the approved budget entails and how it will impact their lives. It is also my great honor to officially launch the National Public Investment Management Policy. This is an important milestone in transforming how Uganda plans, implements, monitors public investments. As we embark on the implementation of the 4th National Development Plan, our ambition is to grow Uganda's economy from US dollars 550 billion to 500 billion in the next 15 years. Achieving this will require better planning, efficient use of public resources, and timely delivery of high-impact projects. The NPIM policy will ensure that every shilling invested delivers real value through job creation, and I emphasize the job creation. I want to create jobs as many as possible, because Uganda, we are a prolific in terms of when we need to produce children. You hear that? Now those children, we must cater for them. We must plan for them, schools, and getting jobs after they have completed their what? Their school. Going forward, all government projects will be guided by this NPIM policy and the Development Committee guidelines to ensure they are completed on time, within budget, and to the right quality standards. Going forward, all government projects will be guided by the NPIM policy and the Development Committee guidelines to ensure they are completed on time, within budget, and to the right quality standards. We will also focus on maintaining public infrastructure to ensure long-term service delivery. The success of this policy depends on collective effort. I call upon all MDAs, my development partners, civil society, and the private sector to support and implement these reforms. As you have heard from the Permanent Secretary to the Treasury, we have lined up a series of activities throughout this month in collaboration with various partners. These engagements are designed to enhance transparency, promote public awareness, and create a participatory environment in which citizens can connect with the national budget in meaningful ways. I thank our partners both from government and civil society for harmonizing the calendar of National Budget Month activities. Your coordination and collaboration have ensured that the planned engagements complement rather than conflict with other ongoing national programs. This level of synergy is key in deepening citizen engagement and strengthening ownership of the budget process. Somebody was talking about paying taxes. When I was a small boy, a person who did not want to pay tax, particularly women at that time, they were not paying taxes. He will be shadowed in the village. Actually, I remember my father, whenever he paid his tax, that night, he spent his dancing. Have you heard? But today, people are refusing to pay taxes. Why? Where do I go? You want me to mortgage your country? Please, business people, those who are working, pay your taxes. These taxes are meant to make your life easier. You want roads, you want schools, you want now we have got planes. They want security, and they want you to enjoy your country. Move from here to there, and nobody saying where are you coming from and where are you going. So please, tax, I'm appealing you, everybody. Me, I'm paying my tax, I can tell you that. I am a small farmer somewhere there. Now they have assessed me for 200 billion shillings. I did not know how I'm going to raise that money. No, not billion, million. 200 million. And I will pay. I will sell some of my cattle and pay. Please. It should be your pride. Only what you should really squeeze the government is when we give you that money, how do you spend it? And I can tell you, I will be one of the person to help you to get rid of that person who is not spending our money the way he should be spending our money. Have you understood? Yes. So please, do not complain. This is our country, and a very beautiful country. We have now made certain things which make this place very, very beautiful and peaceful. Please, anybody who earns money and is in the bracket of paying taxes, please pay the tax. I will repeat, pay the tax. The tax is meant to help you and to advance onto your business and on your life. This borrowing, no, borrowing. I am just forced because I have not got money. I have not got money from the taxpayers. So, now I'm concluding. With those many remarks, I now take the honor to officially launch the implementation of the National Budget Month activities for financial year 2025-26. And the good Lord may all of you make you healthy first of all and enjoy life. And die at 90 years.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Can I request, we've been seated for quite some time. Can we stand up? Seruga, where are you? Now that Seruga is hiding, I'm going to request Shaka and the team to just move the the document to be launched here, the policy. Honourable Minister, I've spoken to it. I don't want to dilute anything, but one important factor is we are no longer guessing as we do projects. There is a guidance, a national policy that we shall align and work within. Can you, Shaka, help and we get?
Is he first launching the first budget month and launches the other one? Because that one has to be clear.
So we're going to do this. Honourable Minister.
No. This scheme is...
Yes, we're doing month. Okay, symbolically, we are going to bring also the budget month document here, and then the PIMS document here, and we'll ask the minister to come, please, so that this thing does not move. It has it. So we are simultaneously going to do both. Isaac, no. It's okay. You know, these days there is a saying that when somebody is so strong, aina masanyalaze. So the minister's masanyalaze has worked on it, and yeah, so it's. But as we do this, Honourable Minister, I heard Mr. Chairap talk about teachers in his area, primary school, and the PSC's teachers who are not there. Then I reflected on what it takes to be a Minister of Finance. Even your own turn against you. You know, when Mr. Chairap said, my teachers were not there, it was a Friday, they had gone to the market. He was indirectly saying, you need to increase their pay. So even your own have turned against you. So okay. Ladies and gentlemen, 1, 2, 3. DB, can you help? Just as the minister pens the signature, I'll request my colleague Shaka to bring forward the budget month placard that will be countersigned. And I request that this accord. Now this is a national policy and you've signed, so you are now consenting that you will be following our performance within the investment. Thank you. But you participated in it as well. Projects on time, on budget, and to spec. Commissioner General, acting. DB, I know it's your document, but you need to come and sign. By their colleagues in the media, the names, the full names of the Director of Budget who is signing now is Hannington Ashaba. So from today, after the minister has done what he has done, and the PS, the person to shoot at is Hannington. Okay. So next is going to be the picture. Okay, the group picture. May I ask those who have side to stand on the side? Some of them. The minister will be on the other side. Now we're going to launch the budget month. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, it has a title that makes it sound as if it's yet another month, but the activities that go in are so important to consolidate the gains and the things we will have done during the month, or rather as we prepare for the budget and then implement it. So it's a very important month of activities for us, and hence the visibility that we give it. So the Honourable Minister is going to append a signature.
Wow.
Siatini, welcome. The reason we work closely now with the civil society is to ensure that we have nothing kept on the side and that we are as transparent as it gets. So days are gone when we used to have our budget done in secrecy and we just present it. The budget is done in consultation with the civil society, and that's why they are very visible and very involved in our activities. So we're going to take a group picture. Can we ask partners to come in and we'll have that picture taken. And looks like the photographers have not done their job well. Can we make them smile? What do we do? Oh, I've done it. Okay. Thank you very much. Obgalo. Now, may I request that, no, the minister is not leaving yet, just a small thing that the media has requested. They would want to ask a few questions. We shall limit them so that they are few. And I request the Honourable Minister that as you answer them, we will take the liberty to spice up the language so that we speak in Uganda and any other language you feel comfortable with, because the media is asking for that. So, question time. Can I request that this one is removed, please?
Yeah. Question?
Who has a mobile microphone? Okay. So we'll start here at the end. Please mention your name and institution, and ask not more than 2 questions, please.
Thank you so much. My name is Good Sedin from social media. I have 2 questions. Honorable Minister, I'm wondering if you are aware of the new initial tax policy that was introduced to our traders. It's called a group cargo tax, which limits them from transacting business in group. The city traders are saying that they are going to be forced out. There was no consultation. The commissioner just woke up out of the blue and issued this instruction without any consultation. And most of them are not comfortable with this arrangement. As a ministry, are you aware about it? Second, it is to do with the supplementary. You're a very senior NRM cadre. how do you feel about this new supplementaries that are being passed by Parliament every day? The recent one we had was supposed to be compensating the coffee farmers. We're also aware that the 100 million shillings which was given things was part of that money. As citizens, we feel, I think this is the time as a ministry we should consider priorities. Because why should we go for the supplementaries when there are no emergencies? Money is being used fast, it is not well used, given to politicians.
Thank you very much. You've made your point. Second question, we'll take 5 questions initially, and then behind you there's Bloomberg, and then we'll go this way. Bloomberg behind you, then we shall move.
My name is Fredo Jambo. I work for Bloomberg. Honorable Minister, is there a chance? Where are you?
Can you come to the front, please?
My name is Fredo Jambo. I work for Bloomberg News. Is there any chance of World Bank restarting new loans to Uganda the next financial year? And if not, how does government plan to reach budget requirements?
Question 1 is, Honourable Minister, is there an opportunity that the World Bank will re-engage with us, we restart after, and then the next one was on...
How far are the talks with the International Monetary Fund for a new loan package for Uganda? And how much are you looking at in this new engagement with IMF?
Thank you very much. Nation Media.
My name is Walter Message from NTV. I'm interested in understanding the CSOs talked about the cost of doing business. We would like to hear your standpoint on how you're going to intervene, how the Ministry of Finance will intervene on the cost of doing business in the country. And you also talked about job creation. I think it's a question that has come to you several times. We would also like to know how you're going to get the many jobs that you talked about here. Thank you.
One more question, I think 2 more questions, those are 3 sets.
This is for the Private Sector Foundation. My name is Dennis Katonje, I work for the Uganda Media Center. You said that the engine of this economy are the small to medium enterprises, but you went on to add that most of them are informal. So I wanted you to highlight what is informality. So we used to think that those who are not registered, who don't pay taxes, are the informal ones. But it looks like a big chunk of entities under you are registered and pay taxes and all that. So who is informal? Can you highlight?
Okay. Looks like we are done. We'll answer that and then we'll get back. Honourable Minister, please. Can you pass over that microphone?
I think the question for URA, they are here to speak for themselves.
Thank you, Honourable Minister.
We request that you use the podium since our microphones are...
Thank you, Honourable Minister, and for that question. Honourable Minister, Uganda Revenue Authority in its tax administration was faced with a challenge of complaints from our small-scale taxpayers who go to China, who go to Dubai and bring small packages and put them in one container. We call it Mawanga Magati. So they want to bring their cargo here. And when they would reach here, they will capture one bill of lading to represent about 20 small taxpayers. So this person who is on one bill of lading, called a container leader, takes charge of paying taxes at URA and takes the goods and starts defrauding them and cheating them and asking them for more money than what they had even paid at Uganda Revenue Authority. So when we received these complaints at URA, we said no, we cannot allow this to continue. So we engaged the taxpayers who are affected. They gave us their complaint. We engaged the traders associations, including the Casita. We had a whole day engagement at Hotel Africana. And we said we have to put a stop to this. We cannot allow container leaders to continue cheating Ugandans, especially small scale, and they run out of business. So on the engagement, so we said we are going to give you what we call a house bill, so that when you bring your package and it's in that container and you have your house bill, we clear your goods, pay your taxes, and go out. We thought that would solve the problem. But I don't know why they think we have been unfair, but we are trying to be fair to these small-scale traders who have been cheated for a long time. Some had not got their goods for 2 years, others 1 year, others had gone back to dig and given up their capital after selling their land. We think as responsible tax collectors, we should not be caught in this mix, and we need to protect these Ugandans. And that's why when they started, now everyone has a house bill. Those who have, we have cleared them, and they have come out. Those who had not got house bills, they have asked for favor that they still clear through that name up to 1st of June. After 1st of June, we are not going to allow more Ugandans to be cheated in this manner of using container leaders. I submit.
Supplementary.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, and thank you very much for the question. The question, certainly a concern about supplementary expenditures, first and foremost, is with us. We are very concerned when supplementary expenditures do come, because they do 3 things. 1, they require that you find the source of money for financing them. And if you go ahead and start cutting the budget which has been given to other people, although of a lower than expected priority, it becomes a problem. 2, you need to find more money. And usually, it's not possible to find more money by going to URA, because they have a cycle of collecting money. And so very painful to look for money from domestic market, because it will affect the private sector. 3, it disrupts the normal flow of the earlier budgets. But there are situations where you cannot postpone the activity for which a supplementary has been requested, which is why we do go for that. For example, the supplementary which were incurred this financial year went ahead to bridge the gap of the requirements for SGR clearance of right-of-way, which needed to be done, and quite a number of other activities which are very critical. We could not postpone them. I do not know what you mean by 100 million. I don't know what is 100 million for? That must have been part and parcel of the money that was budgeted for under the various votes which supplied the money. So the accounting officers for those votes need to answer that. But I think that money must have been budgeted for. While I'm on the floor, I want also to answer the issue of supplementaries. We raise supplementaries to address a specific need which cannot be postponed. That's the short answer I can give you. And how do we finance it? In 2 cases, we had to finance it from domestic borrowing within our debt strategy. We still have a comfortable debt strategy with which we are proceeding, and we judiciously, and it goes through cabinet first and foremost. And cabinet is very serious in scrutinizing this before it's approved. And where we go and borrow from domestic sources, we do calculate the impact of that borrowing on the economy, and whether it's consistent, most importantly, with our debt sustainability arrangements. I know we shall have a lot of discussions in the breakaway sessions, as I gave you, and we shall discuss more on these details about where the supplementary goes and why we have to painfully incur, given the pain that I mentioned, the 3 reasons that I mentioned, supplementaries do cause. While I'm still here, I think let me answer the issue of whether the government is doing anything on cost of doing business, borrowing. Yes, government is doing a lot. For example, PDM alone, do you know that PDM alone, which is 1 trillion per annum, is a free cost loan to the farmers? And you know that we factor the impact of 1 trillion shillings in this economy, in the overall market for the money in this economy. Because we are not going to borrow this money from commercial banks to give the peasants. And when peasants get low-cost money or free-cost money to produce, then the output of that economy improves on account of that initiative. We are also doing a lot on the cost of borrowing for the SMEs and grow the growth opportunities for women. The rate is 10%. And 10% of, say, how big that amount of money is compared to the commercial bank rates that are there for lending. Under UDB, the interest rates are not beyond 12% compared to the market rate of 17, 18%. Under the commercial farmers incentive, where government decided and Minister of Finance launched through our own government-owned banks, we are taking the responsibility to pay for interest for any commercial farmer who plants cereals, maize, and those other items beyond 50 acres and above. If you have 50 acres and above, under the commercial farmers support, you go ahead, borrow money from a bank. The interest rate on that money will be paid by Mr. Kasaija, Honorable Kasaija. We are going to take up the interest, and you pay only the principal over a period of time that you are going to agree with your commercial bank. And the commercial banks here are, is it Post Bank? It's one of them. Centenary, Housing Finance Bank, and most of these government-linked banks. So you can see that government is trying to do whatever it takes to buy down the interest rates in the economy. I know still domestic borrowing is going on and is maybe giving incentive for commercial banks to stay higher there, but they will come down. They'll come down. So yes, there are initiatives that we are doing under the various wealth creation funds. Under Myoga, the interest rates are equally low. Under the normal lending to the private sector under SMEs, agricultural credit facility is also very low. And the Bank of Uganda actually gave a showcase of success stories about agricultural credit facility under the Bank of Uganda. Interest rates there are equal to 12%. So government doing a lot, but maybe not enough to buy down interest rates. But you'll see very soon when other factors in the economy come, when a new economy comes. I don't want to mention it now, but when a new economy comes, these rates will come down, tumbling faster than we think. For now, they are sticky upwards because of the limited borrowing we go in the domestic market. But also the good news is that internationally, interest rates are coming down. So the emphasis on borrowing domestically will recede as we look out for cheaper capital outside, especially in the Eurozone, where interest rates are coming down more faster. Then we shall have to rely to finance a deficit on the external side rather than the domestic side. We can go on and on, but I think, as I said, we shall discuss more of these issues. Job creation, how are we linking job creation with what we are doing? Under the ATMs, you know that under agriculture, PDM is one of the areas which is going to employ quite a number of people, right from household level, in terms of production. The linkage of PDM output with industry along the theme of the budget of industrialization is through the rural growth centers. You know very well that electricity has now reached there. Our job is to take electricity to many areas, rural growth centers inclusive. What do these people do? They have grinding mills there, they have maize hullers there, they have rice hullers there, they have cassava processing things to the next level, etc. They are increasing the shelf life of the PDM output in an attempt to add value in the agricultural value chain along the lines of agro-industrialization, and also marketing the output of PDM. Linked to that is now the aggregators who are forming in very many parts of this country. Aggregators are building the stores under private sector on their own. And you find that these are the ones who are off-takers of the PDM. And that creates a chain of both income generation, but also employment opportunities as you go on. So that's the value chain of job creation under agriculture, linking the output of PDM to agro-industrialization and also the markets. 2, we are also doing a lot of work in terms of the initiatives under wealth creation funds. All these are not meant to benefit individuals only. You can see the multiplier effect of an enterprise, of a grow lady who has borrowed 50 million to do expansion of her restaurant. You can see the multiplier effect there in terms of the number of employees who are there, the income they are getting, and also the expansion of the economic activity in the economy. So each of these wealth initiatives, and also the investment in natural parks for the industries to establish there in order to manufacture and process for export and also domestic market, is an avenue for creation of jobs for the youth. There is also the skilling program. I could go on and on and on, but I think we should be able to break it down at an opportune time under the breakaway sessions, which I encourage all of you to participate fully, because a lot of information will come with respect to what activity we are doing in order to create what in terms of our growth path to where we want to go. The other issue is SMEs. I think private sector will answer that. He talked about informality and linking informality with the SMEs, who are the biggest part of the constituency. But I think the competent private sector is there. I will be able to answer that. But let me now answer the last question from Bloomberg, I think. The World Bank and the negotiation with IMF. Was it negotiating with IMF? Yeah, was it negotiating with the program? Yeah, we are negotiating the program. World Bank, first of all, has come back very well. They have agreed, they have aligned their programming in opening up what they had suspended. They have opened up what they suspended. Yeah, so there's no more problem about those guys. Why they are closed. We are now aligned, and they have the recent spring meetings. I think we got a brief from our PS and Minister that they are quite happy, and they have aligned their programs to our ATMs. Actually, it's almost word for word where they are going to support. It's consistent with our ATMs and NDP4. NDP4, ATMs, and World Bank programs come to support that. So we are home and dry with them. And they are coming to support SGR and all these other big ticket items with respect to flagship projects in our development agenda. So there is no problem there. We are negotiating the new program with IMF. We are now advanced. We are now on final stages. The quantum, I think, will be known after the negotiations, because nothing is known until everything is done and agreed to. But the negotiations are proceeding very well, and PSST is in the lead of that one, and I think he briefed us that we are at the tail end of concluding the program with IMF. So there is no problem in that area. Quantum, we shall know it in the course of the financial year. I think that's all that I think the minister was supposed to come back on, unless he has got something to add. Otherwise, I invite Sinwe to deal with SMEs. Informality. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister and colleagues. I think it was Dennis who asked about the issue of informality. I had earlier given some statistics from our research desk at PSFU, and a few minutes ago I was talking to Mr. Kagomere about it. So the Uganda's predominant business class is largely informal. So what is informality? Informality is when a company or a business enterprise operates outside legal, established and regulatory structures. It is not registered, it is very informal, it is not traceable. I think you've heard of the Bayiribi. You see the guy, but he has no identity. It's very good in the short term, very, very short term. But long term, in terms of planning, in terms of projecting, in terms of even support, it's very, very, very dangerous. And therefore, at the PSFU, we've done a mapping of the entire economy, and we feel that there is need to bring this very, very largely informal constituency into the formal sector. Why? When you are informal and you want to borrow money, you are going in for a kill, because the only person who can give you money, quote unquote, are those money lenders. What are their interest rates? Very high. What is their uptake? They'll take your land, your property, etc., etc. We can't train you. We can't access funding. Mr. Minister, we, through your office, when we established the two big projects of GROW, which is generating opportunities for women, and INVITE, which is investment for industrial support and export, the people who had access to good financing were those who were formally registered. And I think formality is a good thing. And with CS-BAG and Accord, we've been pushing that at least there be a grace period where people can be given access, comfort, and a lot of misperception in respect to, because people think if you register a business, the taxman is coming for you. Well, many times he does, but again, there is an element of, there's an element of support. And we brought to your attention through our consultation about the startup policy, and I wish government would fast track it, because that startup policy, Mr. Minister, is going to be the game changer in addressing some of these issues. So, and fortunately now I think there is a process for the national ID, where people are being told to get, once you get your ID and you have a place of work, you are traceable. For us in the private sector and the civil society, we are going to push for policies that create an enabling environment for you to thrive. And governments, fortunately now they are listening. They've been listening for the last 18 years. But I would like to chip in, Mr. Minister. There's a new emerging threat of illicit trade, the Chupuli business. We are seeing an influx of very, very illicit products and very sophisticated. High-end wines, whiskies, cigarettes, they are coming under the radar. Nobody is seeing them, they are not traceable. But the most dangerous thing about some of this illicit trade, which is affecting us in the formal sector, is the element of health. Lack of standards, phytosanitary conditions are terrible. And it's against that background that we urge government to up the enforcement element, because people are dying. These cancers you are seeing, people can now actually, with the help of AI, fabricate a top-notch product. You won't understand it, but it's coming under the radar. It is passing through very, very organized crime. And for us, at the private sector, with the civil society, we are really, really pushing and urging government that even in your current budget, the issue of managing illicit trade, porous borders, etc., is something that needs to be done. So against that background, we are encouraging as many young and upcoming businesses to formally register, and PSFU, with the support of our other partners, we are going to help with that, so that then you can have access to finance, lower cost of financing, training, capacity building, markets. Mr. Minister, we are going to ask you to come and open a project we are starting on ensuring that SMEs now become on part of an export-led strategy for SMEs. So that, for example, if I am a registered SME and I have a good coffee, cocoa, whatever product it is, I can have it tested by UNBS at a very good price, and I can actually export 3, 4, 5 bags of high-grade coffee to London on Uganda Airlines with proper timelines, and so that we get the small and medium enterprise into the big sector that will ensure that we get a good return on investment. So Dennis, against that background, I thought that would emphasize. Thank you very much. Yes, lots of jobs will be created. And we pay.
Thank you.
Just use a bit of Uganda because of Congo.
Okay. Okay. Jobs, emirimu. As I told you, these days I have a sleepless night on how to create jobs so that everybody is engaged into a productive business of sort. Emirimu ennaku zino sikirabika bulungi kubanga ndaba nti abaana baffe bavudde mu university. Bairewe mumanyi bulungi nti boda bano tulinamu abantu nga emitwalo 5 nga balina university degrees. Mukimanyi wati mukimanyi kati nno kati mugende mukinonyereze. For us, we researched these borders. That's why we normally don't want to. They make mistakes, but we don't normally punish them. So, omirimo titwebase tulowooza tupulaninga naddala kigambo kya industrial parks. Abasigansimbi bwe bajja aweeru ne wano ne basigansimbi bazirina abantu balina sente wano mu Uganda. Tubawa ettaka, tubawa amasanyalaze oluusi n'emisolo emirala tugibajjako basobole okutandika amakolero ago. Amakolero buganaba gatandise abaana baffe abava mu masomero ne mu university bajje bakole omulimo. Simanyi waliwo omuntu omuwano ayagendako embaale. Tulina gundi a park there. Those of you who may not have had time, I would ask you to go there and see if you get time. N'olwekyo ekigambo ky'emirimu kino gavumenti ekikutte kanowala. You wait. In another 1 year or so, mujja kulaba ebintu bitambula. Twagala abaana baffe, saagala abaana bange bagende e Dubai. Bwe bagende e Dubai bagende basuubuleyo. Oba bagende batunde ebyaffe bitukoze eki. Omwana bw'anaba nga kitaawe amuwadde obusuubuzi. Njagala omwana oyo atwale omumwanyi. Muwulidde? Njagala omwana oyo atwale kaawa. Njagala atwale ti. Naye saagala agenda akole ki? Abonabonere eri. I have also stories of some of our children when they go that side. I know of a daughter of my friend who told me terrible things. Naye ebyo kati sijja kubyogera kubanga biswaza. So n'olwekyo abantu mubagambe nti NRM nga tukyakwata nga tukutte kaze bagita batennaka enkasi emirimu gijja kufika. President yangamba tikasajja mu myaka egitali gyawala nnyo ate tujja kubanga tu importinga labor. Mukitegedde? So mugumikirize ekintu kino kijja kutereera bulungi nga tukola etuteese mu plan. ebyange biweddeyo bannange waliwo kimuwagala kumbuuza nze kubanga nina puroguramu endala gyenjagala ebyange biwedde mwebale abantu mubabuulire bulungi bapaparazi please educate people, don't agitate them. Educate. Muwulidde abantu muleme kubasasaza no babuulira amazima bwoti kino ekikyamye nze bwemba nasobezza nze nzikiriza nenga nti nakoze eki nkisobezza naye omuntu naleeta story just okusasamaza asobole olupapula lutunde. That is killing your own country. That's really killing your own country. Ebintu mubikola, look what is supposed to be the truth and stick to it. Ensi tugibaterezezza mwe abato. Waliwo wano omwana omuto, waliwo umanya omuntu yali ayozezza ngoye nakaje ebikola byenakanye byamapaapaali. Waliwo mmwe we yimirira angambi wayozaako engoye n'ebikola byamapaapaali ewajjajja nga tasobola kugula kasabuuni olimbye kale mwebale ddala mwebale nnyo.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to say one thing, that there are officers who are equipped. What the minister has been doing and the leadership of the ministry is to train people and equip them. Their requests for interviews. Those interviews can happen. The minister has set the standard, the PS has spoken in detail. We have 1 month of coming to media houses, of doing barazas, of going at your respective stations. Can you kindly just sit down for a minute? And then those interviews will take place there. So kindly bear with us. The minister has to go to Parliament for a function, an event that he must attend, and on time. So that's point number 1. Point number 2, I want to point out a few people. Gertrude and the team. Gertrude is one of the gurus of the policy we've launched. So anything to do with the question in Uganda, in English, in whichever language, but in Uganda mostly and English, she will handle. So don't say the minister has gone away, therefore there is no representation. Anything to do with the budget in Chitara, the guru of the budget is there, and there are officers there. Musajja Wakawaka is there, and so many other people. So kindly, we are not taking away the top notch to leave you empty-handed. But having said that, one last event which was not on the program. May I ask Sespag and your colleague to come and accord? That's a small one. It's okay, trust me, we trusted you. Friends from the media, this week was actually the Honourable Minister's birthday. Suli Debuga. Now that these people have been disturbing him, we are going to do one little thing to just wish the minister a happy birthday. How they do it, how they sing it, I don't care. They are going to do it here, and then after that, yes, transparency. And then after that, the minister and the team from the Ministry of Finance, of course the media center, we've prepared refreshments for you. They will be served at a designated place. You are all invited. And as you take them, remember the minister's birthday. May I also quickly mention these partners so that I don't fall in a trap of not having recognized them. These are partners we've worked with. NPA, which is represented here, URA, Private Sector Foundation, CIATIN, Uganda Debt Network, Accord, UNICEF, CISBAG, Uganda Association for the Blind, represented, Bank of Uganda, Uganda Media Center, the Media Fraternity, and of course the Women Network. These we've worked closely, and I think the PSST spoke to that in this process. Thank you very much, and they are sponsors of these events for the week.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Minister. Happy birthday to you. Thank you.
Now we have our chameleons. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. And this brings an end to our event. The serving tables at the back. Kindly join us, and thank you Media Center, thank you Abedan team, and thank you Media Fraternity for a very, very impactful event. Thank you.
You're watching Rest TV, Wumula.
Yes, okay, kuva Monday mpaka Lwakutano. Christian Nigerian movies. Kuva sawa nya kitundu mpaka 5 kitundu. Nevije Alex Deputy Taylor Rest TV kwe tugendo bera. Mwana bamugambye fumirwa. Ategwe bamugambye tamwagala. Boys afumbirwa muntu nga atali mu kanisa yaffe. Tugenda kubera nga tulaba ebintu bingi era nga tuyiga. Bambi nkusaba obuvumbo. Mukama Katonda nkwegayiridde abasajja abatalabira abakazi baabwe basalira omusango. Sala kikaaki. Bambi ekyo tokyogera nzo nina obulamu bwonna. Bazadde bamuganye. Anti